into the construction industry, and I deliberately have chosen this after detailed work because this is ignored area in our civil engineering side. सिविल इंजीनियर समझते हैं कि सिविल इंजीनियरिंग सिर्फ कंक्रीट इक्वेशन को डिज़ाइन करना, स्ट्रेस एनालिसिस निकालना और दीवारों की पैमाइश और मेजरमेंट तक महदूद है। ये सिविल इंजीनियरिंग रॉकेट साइंस है और इसमें एक जो इग्नोर्ड टॉपिक पाकिस्तान के तनाजुर में है वो है प्रोडक्टिविटी, पैदावारियत जिसे कहते हैं। तो प्रोडक्शन और प्रोडक्टिविटी दोनों में फ़र्क है, इसकी मैं वजाहत करूँगा। और 1995 में जब मैं आया, आई रिटर्न बैक फ्रॉम USA, सो आई फाउंड दैट इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइड इंडस्ट्री हैव सर्टन लेवल ऑफ एपिटाइट फॉर इन्हांसिंग प्रोडक्टिविटी। तो मुझे एक दो इंडस्ट्री के लोगों ने रिक्वेस्ट की और मैंने लाहौर में पहली कंसल्टेंसी प्रोडक्टिविटी में ट्रेनिंग दी। और जब मैं नेस्ट के स्कूल ऑफ बिज़नेस और UET और केस के स्कूल ऑफ बिज़नेस रेज कर रहा था तो इसकी अहमियत को उजागर करते हुए मैंने ये कोर्सेज MS और PhD में लाजमी कर दिए और 4 से 5 हज़ार मैंने ग्रेजुएट डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली ट्रेंड किया, यानी प्रोडक्टिविटी पे एक्सपोज किया। और रिसेंट पास्ट में यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लाहौर में ये लास्ट ईयर मैंने कोर्स पढ़ाया।
Dr. Sir, we have audience who cannot understand Urdu on Facebook.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I will talk in English. That is my mistake. So since last 27 years, I am partly, directly, indirectly involved in training and consultancy of productivity. One missing element which I found in Pakistani civil engineering side, that like other departments, they have also not given due attention which the word and the phenomenon of productivity deserve for. Productivity is a way of life. Productivity is a culture. Productivity is a thinking process. It is a paradigm shift from production to productivity. And as I explained earlier, there's a lot of room for improvement in minimizing waste, scrap, and rework in construction, which ultimately adds 40 to 50% in the cost of construction. And if you eliminate and make it close to zero, you are likely to reduce construction cost to 40 to 50%. This is not a claim, this is drama in real life. This is what West has done, and I will give you few summary of one case study which I selected from detailed research. So I am formally starting my discussion today. Topic is enhancing productivity in construction through waste reduction. So first of all, in the first part, we will try to understand its meanings of productivity, production, and so forth, couple of various definitions. I always start my discussion with famous statement or quote of Confucius. He says, and I quote, "Don't curse the darkness, light a candle. Don't curse the darkness, light a candle." And I encourage you to start viewing the impossible as possible, and you will be surprised what great you can accomplish. When person does good deed when he or she did not have to, God looks down and smiles and says, "For this moment alone, it was worth creating world." Unfortunately, some construction companies more worry about broken machines than they do about broken workers. And this is the statement of Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi in Urdu. He says, "The pain you are feeling are the messages. Listen them carefully." This is a translation in Urdu to English. Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. Since last 1 century, our construction side, with the exception of few technical value addition, I mean incorporation of technical machinery and equipment, it is still working on the old paradigm, old ways, old techniques and old methods. And there is hardly any true innovation carried out in construction site. So this is not a complaint, this is not a negative comment, this is the overall scenario of South Asian culture. Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, they are facing the same problem. And I have carried out some research on that, and I will give it to you in few minutes. Don't change with the time, change before the time. So this is the right time that we should try to incorporate new change techniques in construction, incorporation of technology, and focus on innovation in processes. A person who graduated yesterday and stopped studying today is uneducated tomorrow. So change your thoughts, you need to change your word. As a civil engineer, I encourage you to start changing your thinking process, and you will see that you will be able to revisit your construction processes from the different angle, from the fresh angle. So what is productivity? Now the question arises, what is productivity? This is the one slide which gives you some, you see on the left hand side, my left hand side, we have input, land, people, capital, facilities, machinery, equipment, tools, energy, construction material, information, data, and various softwares like Primavera P6. These are the input in the typical project management or construction management projects. We transform, Ji.
I think your slide is not moving because what we are seeing is not in coordination with what you are saying.
Okay, I will reload again. Give me 1 minute then. Aao ji, aajo. My staff is helping me. लो जी अब आ रही है नजर?
It's okay now. Thank you.
हाँ जी, तो मैं इसको बड़ा नहीं करता, वो फुल नहीं करता, पार्ट हाफ ही चलाता हूँ फिर ऐसे ही. So in the left hand side you see input, and through a process of transformation we try to make some blocks, infrastructure, building, road, highway or bridges. That is the output. So we develop infrastructure using the input, and more efficient we are, the more productive we are. So in countries like Pakistan or developing nations, there is some confusion the word productivity, efficiency, effectiveness, efficacy, capability and production. These are the 6 definitions which are used interchangeably even by the qualified engineers. So allow me to explain one by one in a few minutes. So our core issue today would be productivity improvement in construction sector. And as we know, productivity is a ratio between output to input with due regard to quality. And if we reduce the wastage of resources like man, material, machine, time, space, capital, money, and information and data collection, so we are more efficient, so we are more productive. So efficiency leads to productivity, effectiveness leads to productivity, and effectiveness in combination with efficiency will give you a lethal super combination that is called productivity. Production is quantity of physical thing being produced, that is production. Production, I repeat, is quantity of physical things being produced. And productivity is a ratio of output to input. That is product we are going to produce, or the infrastructure we are going to carry out in the way of constructions divided by the input given to that. And input is also design, planning, time, resources, information, data, seismic data, geotechnical data, and cement, and all those concrete, that is input. So when we talk about improve productivity, it means using same amount of material, machine, time, labor, and land and technology for producing output. So this is another definition of productivity. Our construction industry is least competitive in the globe. I have some data from India, and I have reason to believe data in India is very close to data in Pakistan in the construction. In Pakistan, I could not find any reliable data or any reliable study, and I would request through the courtesy of this forum to start conducting some study on the construction productivity from today onwards, so as to get a fair idea of the pricing. I recall one of the statement of French marine specialist who came to Pakistan in 1990s to build a submarine in Karachi for Pakistan. French. They told that in Pakistan we will take 3 years to assemble one submarines, which we take 1 year in France. The reason he gave was that Pakistani labor is sluggish, slow, and least interested, and least efficient, and least effective. And they waste a lot of time. So your productivity is 1/3 of the productivity of Europe. That was his claim. So you can well imagine the overall productivity of South Asia. Due to the culture of slavery for the last 5,000 years, speed and spark and dynamism is missing in our labor, thereby giving them lower side of labor productivity. So we are least competitive because our labor productivity is very less. So competitiveness comes, and competitiveness is by definition is nothing but entity, capacity of some entity to outperform other entity. That is the definition of competitiveness. And in the Global Competitiveness Index made by Davis World Economic Forum, Pakistan is around 110, 120, 130, 2 to 5 points ups and down, but below 100. And India is, I believe, 71 and so forth. So India is 30 to 40 points ahead of Pakistan in competitiveness, and productivity is main contributory factor towards competitiveness. So competitiveness comes from a couple of things. First of them is people, that is labor productivity; capital, that is fixed asset plus working capital productivity; energy, that is fuel you consume in your construction machinery; and electricity and various kind of other energy resources like solar, etc. That is some sort of energy. Then material productivity, we will be explaining them in a minute in detail. So construction is a systematic activity to convert design and raw material into finished physical infrastructure with high value in the form of a project. ये है जनाब construction, and construction quantity numbers may be increased by a couple of things. More engagement of employees, more input, by installing more machinery without considering costs. तो आपकी productivity बढ़ सकती है अगर आप cost factor को निकालते हैं, ज़्यादा मशीनें लगाते हैं. So increase in construction does not always correspond to increase in efficiency. Efficiency आप machine लगा के बढ़ा, you can improve the efficiency by installing more machines, but productivity also entails the element of cost. So higher productivity means you can do that higher productivity by increasing efficiency of resource use. So we derive third definition of efficiency. Efficiency is efficient utilization of input. With less number of labor, you produce more, that is efficiency. With less fuel, you work more, that is efficiency of machine. So productivity, in productivity we use one word, efficiency, that pertains to the conservation of resource, that is input. Now we have one big claim that productivity is not only ratio, productivity is a state of mind, it is attitude, it is your mindset. Productivity is a logical outcome of your keenness to deliver something in a speedy and effective manner. So I defined efficiency. The fourth definition now comes to the effectiveness. Effectiveness is achievement of end objective with maximum possible percentage. That is effectiveness. In Urdu we call it Mosirpan. So effectiveness and efficiency, when you combine both, then it leads to productivity. So if I am efficient, I do at a very good speed, but the final results are not coming, so I am not effective. So efficiency in the absence of effectiveness is a useless phenomena. We conclude therefore. So attitude of mind says doing some things better than yesterday. It is a continuous improvement. So we have defined effectiveness, and I can give you one example of my own life. I was called by one consultant in New York 15 years ago, and he asked me to come and give them 2 weeks for a project feasibility preparation in New York. I said, okay, I can come. He asked me to come within a couple of days. I had the passport and visa installed on that, stamped on that. When I saw the passport, visa was valid and passport has been expired. So on urgent basis, in 24 hours, by paying 20, maybe 100% extra money, I got a new passport. So I was efficient. I was efficient because I got a passport in 1 day. When I went to US Embassy for stamping visa, they said the spelling of my name is wrong. Ali, instead of Ali Sajid, that was typographical mistake. Ali Sajjad was printed. They asked me to bring new passport so that they can stamp the visa. I was efficient but not effective. When I went back, there were some vacations by government of Pakistan. There were some vacations by US government. So it took me 1 week to get the visa. And the project deadline was expired. So I was not effective. I could not reach the US in time. So efficiency in the absence of effectiveness is a useless phenomena. We conclude therefore. So one thing is capability. Capability is my capacity to deliver. And when I have more capacity to deliver, I am more effective and I may be more efficient. Quality is third phenomena in the productivity. In the absence of quality, if we deliver more and if it is being rejected, it is not productive. It is least productive rather. It is counterproductive. So productivity in the absence of quality is again a useless phenomena. I again conclude. So what is quality? Quality is conformance to the technical specifications. Quality is conformance to the technical specification given by the customer. So it also entails the element of comfort and convenience. So quality has two dimensions. Convenience, comfort is the first dimension, and conformance to the technical specs is the second dimension. You are given an assignment to construct a building of EU, European Commission in Islamabad, a new building, and they have given you the technical specs, the standards of American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCM, ASCE 11. So if you adhere to those standards, they will pass the building. So that is quality. So quality is adherence to the standards and technical specifications. Quality of working life is another phenomena which I will explain in a minute. Ye dekhiye ji. Quality of working life is temperature of the environment in which construction is being carried out, light, humidity of air, cleanliness, noise level, and sufficient safety level. All these things, and comfort and convenience and congenial environment, all these comes to the quality of working life and definition. And worker productivity enhanced to a substantial level if, and he or she adheres to the quality to a substantial level if they find the quality of working life. This is very important thing which is again missing in some of our construction agencies or construction companies in Pakistan. Innovation is the fifth element, which is a logical input, or which is a natural input for enhancement of productivity of construction. Element of innovation is rarely incorporated or tested or experimented in Pakistani construction industry. Except few bigger companies, Habib Rafiq, and big companies in Islamabad, Lahore and Karachi, where they use the innovative techniques to enhance operational productivity of construction, the element of innovation is missing across the board in construction. So the more incorporation of element of innovation give rise to one thing, that is speed, that is convenience, that is ease of doing business, and that is low operational or construction costs. So these four are the logical outcome of innovation. Try to carry out innovation or incorporate innovation in each process or sub-process of your construction system. So you need to have improved products, projects, services, and construction processes. And innovation increases the rate of construction processes to manifold. I repeat my statement. Innovation increases the rate of construction processes to manifold. Now, how to improve construction productivity? As we decided earlier or agreed earlier, output to input ratio is called productivity. So you can improve construction productivity by 3 or 4 means. Increasing output while input remains same. Number of labor machinery is same, but the speed of construction increases, so you improve the productivity. That is the first thing. The second thing could be you decrease the input while output remains same. Instead of 10 labors, you reduce to 8, and the number of finished rooms will remain same. So that is the second way of increasing construction productivity. The third is increasing input, resulting in very large increase in output. You increase from 10 to 12. Instead of 3 rooms per week, you are making 5 rooms per week. So substantial increase in output as opposed to minimal increase in input. Disproportionate increase in output also enhances the construction productivity relative to increase in input activities. And the fourth is decrease input by a very large amount. So instead of 10 labors, you decrease it to 3, and the number of constructed rooms, which were initially 3 rooms per week, now come to only 2 rooms per week, not 1 room. So that is disproportionate decrease with large amount of number of labor decrease. So these are the 4 ways, generic ways you can improve the construction productivity. There are 2 aspects of productivity in the construction, that is soft or qualitative aspect. In the soft, we create an environment conducive to productivity. You try to incorporate element of motivation, encouragement, himmat, umeed, hope, and positive talk and positive communication and element of increasing morale should be incorporated there. That is the soft issue. That comes from your level of leadership. That is your caliber, and that is your what you call thought process and exposure and education, which creates the quality culture. That is the soft aspect. And the second is technical quantitative aspect to measure productivity. So productivity measurement is again one thing missing in Pakistani construction scenario. And I would like to draw the Tahir Sultan Sahab, who is running a construction company, to consider to start measuring productivity in every process, starting from the cement and concrete to work form and bridges. Try to measure productivity of machine, labor, material, and we will try to explain in a few minutes. The soft aspect of productivity entails productivity culture, teamwork, interdepartmental communication, and level of the motivation, quality of working environment, delighting internal customer, that is your employee, work and business ethics, fairness in your public dealing, and integrity of the boss, caring for the workforce, looking after their extraordinary level of sensitivity and their self-respect and quality of working life. These are the soft aspect of productivity, and these are also not very much common in terms of practice in Pakistani construction companies. So my humble submission is to work on weekly or monthly basis on one topic, and within a couple of 6 or 7 months, you try to you would be able to address the soft aspect of productivity. This is special request to Tahir Sultan Sahab to register my points. I have seen the construction companies in Washington, D.C. When I stayed for 8 years and 1 year in Calgary and Toronto. And I have witnessed myself the quality culture, productivity culture, and construction culture of the construction company. We have one argument that our workforce is illiterate and dodger and cheater. Yet in certain companies in Pakistan, I know some companies who work extraordinary, who take extraordinary steps to create productivity culture. So productivity is not ratio, it is a name of culture, which is a logical outcome of the thought process of big boss. So measures of productivity, partial productivity is a output of divided by labor, that is labor productivity. Output divided by machine productivity is called machine productivity. Output divided by capital, capital means money or investment, or you spend some cash, so that is capital. So these 4 ratios, partial measure of productivity, you can do, you can calculate on weekly, daily, or quarterly, or monthly, or fortnightly basis. Try to develop a habit of measuring partial productivity in your construction. At times in the beginning it seems difficult, but when you get the habit, you will get the benefit. I give you my own example, nothing. I have developed diabetes. So doctor asked me to measure your morning and evening sugar level. I was hesitant and reluctant. For 10 years I did not. But when I started measuring my sugar level, I tried to focus my exercise pattern and change my diet level and diet pattern. And fatty food and carbohydrate, gradually I deleted, and my diabetes come close to 0 just by measuring. So measuring is achieving, measuring is success, measuring is saving, measuring is avoidance of waste and scrap and rework. So the first submission to this honorable forum is to start measuring productivity, and I can volunteer for 1 or 2 days a month to any company to start measuring the productivity, and I am going to give you some formula for that. First of all, labor productivity. can be higher, lower, depending on a couple of factors. Availability of workload. If you don't have work, they are sitting idle. So adding your cash flow negative, they are doing nothing but being paid. So workload ki kam hona, the reduction of workload also leads to low productivity. Then material handling capacity of the worker and the machinery also add labor productivity. Availability of power, that is gas, electricity and internet is also power. And availability of software is also power. And worker efficiency, his speed of doing business is also leads to worker productivity and worker effectiveness. He is efficient but not effective. He is doing the work, but at the end of the day, the work is garbage or waste. So that is non-productive again. So worker efficiency is also need to be considered, and we have three factors: his effectiveness, his efficacy, his ability, and his willingness to work. And sixth factor is his motivation to work. So worker efficiency may use, and his level of training, motivation, conducive conditions of the work, comfortable or poor, temperature control, humidity control, noise control, all leads to worker efficiency. For the same reason, multinational have the special SOPs for worker convenience, safety, comfort, so as to add value through efficiency in the worker mind. So worker or labor productivity is enhanced by increasing efficiency of construction machinery